Hi, this video is all about finding higher consciousness by engaging the observer and letting go of all the distractions created by the ego. And don't worry, I'm going to lay all this out step by step in simple, easy language that everyone can understand. My name is Brent Michael Phillips. I'm the founder and creator of the Awakening Dynamic System of Energy Healing and Higher Consciousness. And we're here today with this video, which is number 8 of 10 in our series, Prerequisites to Higher Consciousness. And essentially, the point of the series is to give you everything you really need to know and be able to do so you are ready for a big shift in your life, to leap to a higher level of consciousness with all the benefits that come with it. More presence, make more money, healthier, happier, more attractive, etc. So our focus for today is on cutting through the noise, finding that true self within all the drama of our day-to-day life. So how do we do it? First thing I'll do is I'm going to read to you the word-for-word teachings from Carl, and then I'm going to explain it, lay it all out step by step, and make it really easy to understand. So Carl taught this. Self-realization involves engaging the observer. It is a focus of attention beyond any rational state, where one identifies with the silent inner true self rather than the stories of the ego and the rational mind. So that's a big teaching. I want to break it down a little bit. So we talked a little before about engaging the observer. What does that mean? It simply means that you imagine stepping back and watching your life from a third person or outside view. Because the nature of our human biology is we see the world essentially in the first person. I'm here, there's a computer and a camera and lights, and there's things outside of us. Those that have played video games know that some video games are what's called first person. Basically, you see the game as the character would. You might also have third person, where you kind of look down at your character and watch him moving through the game world. So we also see this in movies. If you look at a movie like The Blair Witch Project, a lot of it was shot first person, that you're seeing the world from the perspective of the character. That's the first person. The third person is seeing it from the outside. Another way to put it would be first person is you're a player on the field in the game. Third person, you're up in the stands with a great view watching the game. And this is so important because, again, we think we're the human, but we're not. That misunderstanding is at the core of pretty much all of our suffering, all of our struggles. I'm here to offer, how do we do that? So we want to reiterate that you are not a man or a woman or a spiritual being or a soul or any of that. Those are all false identifications. You are everything, everyone. And to help you understand this, I'm going to give a Carl teaching and then a parallel version from some of the well-known gurus from Eastern India. And so this is what Carl had to say. From this silence, there is no rational action required. You are the observer, what is observed, and the process of observing. So there's a lot to unpack there. And I'm going to offer a teaching from Ramana Maharshi, one of the well-known gurus from India. His teaching was this. It's the same thing in different words. He said, the world is an illusion. Only awareness is real. The world is awareness. Blows your mind, right? Here's what it means. The world is an illusion. What does that mean? Simple. An illusion is different than what it appears. So you go to Las Vegas and you see the front of the hotel. It looks like it's Paris and the Eiffel Tower or the Empire State Building. Is it actually? Of course not. None of those things are in Las Vegas. But it looks like it. You go to Disneyland, you walk down Main Street, it looks like there's all these shops and buildings and things and even a castle. Is there actually a castle? No. It's called a facade. An illusion would be a mirage in the desert. You look up on the road, it looks like water. Is it water? Of course not. But here's the thing. Just because something's an illusion doesn't mean it's not real. It just means it's different than what it appears. That's all. So the world is an illusion. What things really are and how they work is different than what it appears. That's pretty easy. Next, only awareness is real. Now, To get this fully, we have to go into awakening, which is a little beyond the scope of a short video. But basically, we are not a noun. We're not a separate being. We're a verb. We're the experiencing of life, not the separate being in the middle of the experience. You are not a man or a woman. You are the experiencing of a man or a woman's life on earth. Important distinction. The third part, the world is awareness, is simply that everything is you. When you look out into the world, you are looking out at you. Because there's only one thing in the universe, and that is you. I want to go back to what we said a minute ago. Carl taught, from this silence, there is no rational action required. You are the observer, what is observed, and the process of observing. And so I want to offer this hint to everyone. One of the reasons you're struggling and why life is so hard is because you think they're applying all the effort. It's not actually true. You are the observing of a man or a woman exerting effort. And when we live from the ego, life is exhausting. It would be like this. When we dance from the ego, there's nothing wrong with that. But when most people dance, they go on the dance floor, they hear the music, and they use their mind and their muscles to move their body in a way that's in rhythm with the music. That's how most people dance, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that, except it's exhausting. It'll wear you out. The other way of dancing, which requires a higher consciousness, is to let the music dance you. That you go out on the dance floor and your body just moves on its own. You're not trying to make it do or not do anything. You're just watching your arms and legs and move around. You're like, that's interesting. I'm not telling you to do that. But your body is directly connected to the music and it dances you. The difference is this. When the music dances you, you can probably dance for hours, even if you're out of shape, because there's very little effort and struggle required. When you are dancing to music, you better be in good shape or you're going to be exhausted fast. And the same thing goes, this is not about dancing, this is about your whole life. When you go to work, are you struggling and pushing on a big rock up a hill every day and coming home exhausted? That means you're living from the ego, not blaming you. But there is a way to simply observe, let the body, the mind do the work. It's sort of like in the 60s, there was the cartoon, The Jetsons. I remember growing up watching reruns. And in the cartoon, people didn't need to exercise anymore. They would simply watch a video of other people exercising and get the benefits. That's kind of what we're doing here. In a higher level of consciousness, you can disconnect from all the effort and watch the human man or woman struggle, push, effort, but it doesn't fatigue you. It doesn't drag you down. It's almost like going to a movie. Let's say you go watch Rocky and you're watching Sylvester Stallone. You hear Eye of the Tiger. He's running up the steps in front of the courthouse, right? And you don't have to run. You don't get exhausted. That's what life can be like in higher consciousness. Let the music dance you. Let the flow of life come through you and do the heavy lifting and the work so that you don't have to. It's sort of like digesting your food. How much do you have to think about it? You don't. As long as you're healthy, your body knows exactly what to do to digest the food. No extra effort from you. So this is hard stuff, so that's why I'm giving a lot of examples and kind of saying the same thing in different ways, hoping that one of these will click and really turn on the light for you, you know? So let's go a little further in the same article from Carl. He says, the silent observer views inner and outer sensations, judgments, thoughts, breath, and behavior without ascribing meaning to what is seen. The silent observer is like the film and the camera. It objectively records the light and the sound, what is seen, without commentary or judgment. And so this is really important. Remember earlier in the series, we said that one of our prerequisites to higher consciousness, you must tell the truth without blame or judgment. This is it. We simply tell the truth about what's happening in our life and the things around us objectively. And it's very interesting that if you were to say watch a car accident in real time, you would have some memory of it, but it's likely your memory would be mixed up. Maybe the car was red and you thought it was orange because it was nighttime. Maybe you thought there was only the driver in one car, but there was actually 3 kids in back. meaning that when we observe something with our mind and our ego, it's full of judgments and distortions. But if you had a video camera record the accident, you would know exactly what color the car was and who was in it and what time it was. Why? The camera simply objectively records the details. That's how we want to be to achieve that higher consciousness. This is your prerequisite. Simply be present to life, tell the truth, reporting the details without giving a lot of meaning and judgment to what happened. So maybe you've been married for 10 years and your partner just filed for divorce. The master would go, that's surprising, I didn't expect that. If you live in ego, you go, oh my God, I'm going to be broke. I'm never going to be happy. No one will ever love me. I'll always be brokenhearted. That's what we're talking about. None of that's true. That's the meaning, the blame, the judgment added by the mind. That's exactly what I want to help set you free from. Why? As long as you're living from the ego with reactive emotion, you can't achieve higher consciousness, people. It's like being 4 years old and trying to get a driver's license. You're just not ready. We don't hate you. We love 4-year-olds. Just don't give them the keys. That's all. And so one of the interesting things that I learned working with Carl is he did a lot of work with what we call video holography. Today, we would say it's movement feedback holography done with video. And essentially, it's taking a video camera and recording your movements and then watching it to see what's going on. That's how we read your stories. That's how we read your energy. It shows up through your movement. And so when I first met Carl, true story, on Monday, November 10th, 2008, I declared bankruptcy, the bad one. Chapter 7 is the good one. I had to do a 13. Brutal. It's like being in prison for 5 years. It really should be unconstitutional in the 8th Amendment. Horrible, horrible thing. I really thought my life was over. So on Monday, I declared bankruptcy. My life coach, Brian, had referred me to Carl because he's like, hey, Brent, you're way too screwed up even for me. I don't know what to do with you. Let's give you to the master. And I had spent my last $500 doing a movement session with Carl. And I remember Tuesday, November 11th, 2008, I met him down on Venice Beach by the rollerblade station. I rented rollerblades and pads, and he videotaped me skating in a circle for about 20 minutes. That seemed odd. Then we sat in his truck and played the video, and he read my energy and just criticized me. And then I went home. And I was furious because I'm like, Brian, what the heck is wrong with you? I don't have any money. I spent $500 so some crazy old guy can yell at me and tell me my life is screwed up. Guess what, buddy? I already know my life is screwed up. I'm in pain. I'm bankrupt. I'm divorced. This sucks. I don't need some crazy old guy to tell me that. And I remember Brian said, Brent, I hear you. Relax. Give it some time. He asked me to give it 3 weeks. Long story short, within 3 days, I had made $50,000. Totally changed my life. What happened? It's simple. The reason Carl used the camera is the camera records exactly what you look like. No agenda, no bias, no judgment. By watching the video, he could see the mythologies, the stories running in me. And he simply told me what was going on. Remember earlier how I said, when we're willing to face the emotion and dive into it, it dissolves? That's how it works. And that's going to be the focus of our next video. And the reason it's so powerful is that when we have a belief or a thought, we project it out into the universe and we perceive that thought. And so, for example, if you believe that bald people are stupid, you're going to send that thought out into the world and you're going to create that. You're going to create and manifest, attract to you a bunch of stupid people who are bald. And you're going to point at it and go, look, it's not a belief, it's true. The thing that Carl did was he simply read my movement and told me what was going on, forcing me to feel the things I didn't want to feel. Remember that? I was ashamed. I felt guilty. I felt stupid. I was angry that I spent all this money on this crazy kook. But by forcing me to feel the things I didn't want to feel, to hear the things I didn't want to hear, my whole life changed. It's crazy. I started making more money. My pain went down. I started having success with dating. It's really magical. That's not me. That's life. That's God. That's the universe. We got to get you connected to your divine source, get the kinks out of the hose. And that's the whole purpose of this series and this video. Give you these prerequisites. Know exactly what you need to do to get yourself ready for that big shift, that big move forward. Of everything I learned, the most valuable thing was just this. You can't learn something until you already almost know it. And so many of us are out doing spiritual practices, meditating, law of attraction, healing, not realizing we're not ready. You don't have all the check marks in place. I'm here to give them to you so you will be ready and you can have amazing success. So if you like the video, hit subscribe, hit like, send it to all your friends. If you're interested in learning more about my work, you want to work with me one-on-one, get some of my programs or guidance, check the links in the description. So I hope you found this some combination of entertaining, educational, and transformational. We got a couple more awesome videos in this series. We're going to go a little deeper into the esoteric aspects. The goal being, once you've gone through all these videos, done a little bit of inner work, you will have checked all the boxes. You will be ready to move forward. I spent a lot of years at MIT collecting degrees in engineering. I did really well. I had straight A's, Phi Beta Kappa, awards, accommodations, blah, blah, a bunch of academic stuff you don't care about. But the single most important lesson I learned was you can't learn something until you already almost know it. And every day I see people, law of attraction, energy healing, meditation, trying to do something they're not ready for. This series is designed to get you ready, show you how to walk so then you can run. I'm Brent Michael Phillips signing off. Until next time, please take care and namaste.